From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A pleasant evening. I'm Delanjali Ananda.
Hello there, a very good evening indeed. I'm Javed Bongzo and we begin with the headlines of tonight's news.
The President instructs officials not to obstruct traditional livelihood of the people. Rapid antigen tests will be performed on the people leaving Colombo during the festive season. The Prime Minister requests the Christians to celebrate Christmas according to health guidelines. Plans have been drawn up to make the Department of Motor Traffic an efficient and corruption-free institution. 1,000 million rupees allocated monthly by the budget to uplift home economy. A warning issued on 80,000 corona deaths within the next 21 days in the US.
We begin with news from home. The third program of Gama Samaga Pilisandara was held under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa today at Ravanakanda village in Balangoda, Imbupe. The President instructed officials not to obstruct traditional livelihood of people. Ravanakanda village is situated in Imbupe Divisional Secretariat area in Balangoda, adjoining Nora Elia district and at far end of the Ratnapura district. The main livelihood of villagers are kittul and tea industry. The President expected to provide speedy solutions to the problems of long-standing issues of the villagers after discussing the problems with them. The meeting took place at the Thoravele Kanda school grounds. People in many villages including Kattadikanda, Gallanakanda and Thoravele Kanda attended the meeting. They presented their problems to the President. The President instructed officials to speedily develop entry roads to many villages, including 6-kilometer Veleboda road from Pudukadua junction to enter Balangoda, Hatton Road, Gallanakanda road from Ravanakanda, Thoravele Vatukarakanda road and Egoda Veleboda Vatukarakanda road. He instructed to build bridges across Uraoya and Imoya. Tea smallholders will get transport facilities to transport tea leaves with the constructions of the roads. The villagers informed the President about the problems when tapping kittul. The President instructed police, forest conservation and wildlife officials to allow kittul tapping without any obstacles. The President ordered to stop filing court cases abruptly against the villagers who enter lands belonging to forest conservation and wildlife for their livelihood purposes. The President paid his attention on building a tea processing center for tea planters in the area. He instructed local politicians to intervene to provide the transport facilities to prevent delays in transporting tea leaves. He instructed officials to provide speedy solutions to the long-standing land issues of the people in the villages. It was decided to provide solutions to the teacher shortage in several schools in the area and to develop infrastructure soon. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa instructed to prepare plans to solve the shortage of Tamil language teachers when teaching advanced level science, mathematics, commerce and technological subjects in the Sabaragamu province. A vocational training center for the youth in the area is scheduled to be established. The President instructed to take steps to develop infrastructure of several rural hospitals including Pinnavala and Manatunga Kanda. The Urban Development Authority was entrusted with preparing a suitable program for Bankiya garbage disposal center without harming the people's health. The local government institution was given the responsibility of selecting a suitable land for a cemetery which has been long-term need for the Imbupe Divisional Secretariat area. A smart class with internet facilities and a computer system was donated to Thoravele Kanda School by Sri Lanka Mobitel to mark the arrival of the President. The President commended the new creation of grade 9 student of Balangoda Ananda Maitri Vidyalaya, Sadev Denirud Fernando. The creation has the dual purpose of measuring body temperature and disinfection. If the temperature is not checked when passing the place where it has been installed, it gives a signal. Two books written by Oshadi Chamudika Jayavikrama, who is a grade 2 student of Thoravele Kanda Vidyalaya, were presented to the President. Ministers Pavitra Vanyarachi, Vasudeva Nayakara, State Minister Janaka Vakkumbura, Parliamentarians W.D.J. Senaviratna, Akila Ellavala, Gamini Veleboda, Mudita De Silva, Sabaragamu Province Governor Tikiriko Bagadua, President's Chief Advisor Lalit Weeratunga and state officials were present on this occasion.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa met the Bishop of Colombo Diocese of Church of Ceylon, Dushanta Rodrigo, yesterday at the Bishop's house in Colombo. Attention was paid on the occasion celebrating Christmas while following health guidelines in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Bishop drew the attention of the Prime Minister on protecting Christians and all Sri Lankans during the festive season, reopening schools and introducing the new constitution. The Prime Minister requested the Bishop to educate the public to celebrate Christmas while following health guidelines given by the health authorities to control COVID-19. A group of people, including Colombo Auxiliary Bishop Peri Brohia, Colombo Diocese Secretary Rajan Ashirwadan, clergy and Minister G.L. Piris were present on the occasion.
Conducting rapid antigen tests randomly on the people leaving for their villages from the Western Province commenced today. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health says that the number of recovered persons from COVID-19 has increased to 27,061. Another 708 who recovered left the hospitals today. 88 infected persons who were at COVID-19 treatment centres in Polonnaru district completely recovered and left today. The percentage of the infected persons completely recovered from the virus is 75.67. The percentage of the people under treatment is 23.88. 10,071 corona patients have fully recovered and left the hospitals this month. The highest number of persons leaving after recovering from the virus recorded on the 16th of this month. 708 persons have recovered and left today. 14,272 PCR tests were done yesterday. 1,082,080 PCR tests have been conducted so far. Another 376 patients were found today. Conducting rapid antigen tests randomly on the people leaving for their villages from the Western Province commenced today. Director General of Health Services Dr. Asela Gunawardena said that rapid antigen tests will be performed randomly on the passengers travelling in long-distance buses and the people travelling in private vehicles. Meanwhile, Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva said that 5 infected persons were identified following tests done on 451 persons who were going to leave the Western Province. The tests have been done at Dangovit, Colombo, Kandy Road and Koskama on High Level and Low Level Road. A separate unit has been established for corona-infected persons at Maharagama Apeksha Hospital. Health protective kits were handed over to inquiries of sudden deaths today. It took place under the patronage of Justice Minister Ali Sabri. The United Nations Development Fund has given assistance in this regard.
And the chief epidemiologist, Dr. Sudat Samravira, said that when obtaining medicine, approval should be sought from a qualified doctor. He said that applications can arise if medicine of any type is used without getting medical advice.
We have that limited the number of people that attending a seminar or meeting or religious ceremony or a wedding ceremony. At this moment that we have allowed that to participate only 50 people, that if they can maintain 1 meter distance within that space. If the space is limited, only a 50% of the people that who can normally accommodate can attend in such a place. That we have experienced that when we test people with rapid antigen test, that some people who are traveling from Colombo are infected. So because of that we have taken a pilot initiative that people that who are traveling out of Colombo, especially with the common vehicles, public buses, will be subjected to testing randomly for COVID-19 with rapid antigen test at certain points, and depending on the results we will be deciding what we'll be doing in future for this traveling. We know that any medicine, whether it is Western or indigenous or Ayurvedic, that there are some medicines that you can take over the counter, that without a prescription from a qualified physician. But most of the drugs, either it is Western drug or Ayurvedic or indigenous drug, should be taken with prescription of a qualified doctor. This is relevant not only to the Western medicine and also to Ayurvedic and indigenous medicine. So if the people are taking a medicine that is not known to them and not that is usually practicing, that they should take advices from a qualified physician before that taking it, otherwise there could be serious adverse effects.
Deputy Director General of Public Health Services Dr. Hemantha Herath has requested to support eradication of COVID-19 by acting responsibly during the forthcoming festive season. He requested the people to refrain from travelling to other provinces from the Western Province since the coronavirus risk is high in the Western Province.
The Ministry has taken several steps to control the present cluster of COVID patients, and we are taking further steps to curtail the possible effects of the movement of people that might take place during the season and New Year period, where most of the people are expected to go to their home areas, and also people used to celebrate or the Christmas as well as the New Year, and we expect the public to act with responsibility at this moment to ensure that your movements are restricted to the minimum during this period, where the risk of spreading this disease into other parts of the country, especially from the Western Province, is getting increasingly high, and as a result the appearing of clusters in different districts is getting more and more high, and therefore restricting our movements to our areas of residence is very important, and also adhere to the health guidelines at all times, especially during the religious activities that you have to carry out during the Christmas time, and also other functions and other inevitable activities that you might have to face, so that the risk of disease getting into other people will be minimized. There are comparisons and arguments going on about which or what type of mask are the best to be used, but as general public, I think I would like to advise that general surgical mask or a reusable cloth mask is more than enough to be used in combination with the other health guidelines, such as keeping the social distancing as well as washing hands, so that you don't need to spend huge amount of money to buy sophisticated masks which are meant to be used in complicated and complex procedures involving or where the aerosol generation is a possibility, and very complex surgical procedures, and especially in the healthcare setup this is being used. But for the general public, as long as they adhere to the other health guidelines, the ordinary mask is good enough for the prevention of disease. And while you all are wearing this mask, also you have to adhere to the specific instructions given together with the wearing of this mask, especially not to touch your face, mouth or eyes or nose with your fingers while mask is worn, and also to wear the mask wherever possible, and also to make sure that it is always correctly worn. And that is another advice that I need to give to the general public.
Chairman of the Presidential Task Force for Economic Revival and Poverty Elimination, Basil Rajapaksa, says that 1,000 million rupees has been allocated by the budget monthly to uplift home economy. The assistance of stakeholders will be obtained when implementing projects related to the program. Mr. Basil Rajapaksa mentioned this while attending the Uva province discussion of the Gama Samaga Pilisandarak Tulin Vada Samaga Yaligamata national program. The discussion took place at Uva Vellasa University today. It was announced that technical support is needed to increase quality of agricultural produce, and the support is expected to be obtained from the universities. The Uvavellas University is implementing the project together with the Provincial Council. It was pointed out that the cultivations have been damaged as rains were not received as expected. Mr. Basil Rajapaksa said that the Sena caterpillar has already affected the agricultural industry and the farmers needed to be given relief if the drought continues. The budget has given prominence to rural development, and each Grama Seva division is expected to be given a preschool and a maternity clinic. The budget has also allocated funds to enhance infrastructure of rural school by changing the education to suit the modern world. It was revealed at the discussion that the development of 100,000 road kilometers has commenced as during the administration of Mahinda Rajapaksa. 8,400 million rupees has been allocated by the budget to develop sports and to provide opportunities for rural sportsmen and women. The tanks will be developed by paying a special attention on environment. Mr. Basil Rajapaksa said that steps have been taken to set up urban parks in the urban areas. 10,000 million rupees has been allocated in this regard. Chairman of the Presidential Task Force for Economic Revival and Poverty Elimination, Basil Rajapaksa said that 10 billion rupees has been allocated to the Ministry of Samruddhi to develop home economy. He said that 1 billion rupees has been allocated monthly, which is a major task for the ministry. He said that all institutions should divide it among them and work with commitment from the village level. He added that at least one of the proposals should be received by each village. He further said that prominence should be given to the proposals received from the villages at the Regional Coordination Committee meeting. Minister Nimal Sripala De Silva, State Ministers Shashendra Rajapaksa, Vijita Berugoda, Tenuka Vidana Gamage, Parliamentarians Dilan Pereira, Jagat Pushpakumara, Uva Province Governor A.J. Muzammil, Southern Province Governor Willie Gamage, Uva Province Parliamentarians, former Provincial Council members, heads of local government bodies, Badulla and Munaragala district politicians and state officials attended the meeting.
The amendment agreement of the housing scheme implemented under the Indian assistance was signed today. It took place at the State Ministry of Rural Housing, Constructions and Building Material Industry Development. Indian High Commission to Sri Lanka Gopal Bagle and the State Ministry Secretary Kirti Ranjit Abegunawardena signed the agreement in the presence of State Minister Indika Anuruddha. The agreement to build 2,400 houses under an Indian assistance of 1,200 million rupees was signed during the time of the previous government. Accordingly, a house recipient will get 500,000 rupees and they were able to get the money after building the house. According to the amendment agreement signed today, the funds can be obtained before the house is constructed. The decision was taken with intervention of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Chairman of the National Housing Development Authority, Renuka Pereira, was also present on the occasion. State Minister Dilum Amunagama says that steps have been taken to make the Department of Motor Traffic an efficient institution without corruption. He said that a group of employees has been transferred as a part of that program. A large group of people faced difficulties when a group of officials of the Department of Motor Traffic in Narayanpeta left their duties. It was reported they left the duties due to transfers given to some officials. The services were recommenced with the intervention of police officers. State Minister Dilum Amunagama said that transfers had been made on legal basis. State Minister Dilum Amunagama said that the transfers have been effected on information given by intelligence units. He said that among them are those who should not be there to clean the department and those who are scheduled to be transferred annually. He said that they may not be involved in corruption. The State Minister said that the President has paid his attention on the institution. Corruption has not been stopped 100%. He further said that the government has a responsibility to correct the situation. However, he said that all officials are not corrupted, but there is a certain percentage of corrupt individuals.
Minister Kehalia Rambukwala says that local industries should move forward based on agriculture to successfully face global economic recession. He mentioned this during an observation tour of Galagedra Electoral Division today. The minister inspected the closed down Salusala handloom factory. Thereafter, he inspected Vijay Sadaham 7 Mental Wellness Centre. Expressing his views, Minister Keheli Rambukwala said that the world is facing an economic recession. He said that is who the government has implemented long-term, middle-term and short-term plans while giving prominence to local produce to face a world food shortage. He said that if the country moves forward with industries, it should be based on agriculture.
Venerable Athureliya Ratanathera has been named to the National List Parliament seat of Ape Janabala Party. The relevant Gazette notification has been issued by the Elections Commission. Ape Janabala Party obtained one national seat in Parliament following the general election in August. Conflicts took place when naming an individual for the Parliament seat. The disappearance of the General Secretary of the party amid the conflicts created a confusion in the country. Meanwhile, the Gazette notification issued by the Elections Commission today has recognized Venerable Athureliya Ratanathera as a member of Parliament.
The budget of the Katunayaka Sidwa Urban Council was defeated by 13 votes today. The United National Party has the administrative power of the Urban Council. There are 19 members in the Katunayaka Sidwa Urban Council. The United National Party has 6 seats. They obtained the power of the Urban Council with the support of 3 SLFP members. However, when the vote was taken on the budget 2021, members of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna and Sri Lanka Freedom Party voted against the budget.
And the main series of electoral seats conferences organized to coincide with the 4th anniversary of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna under the theme Sivu Desa Suraki Sivu Wasara is scheduled to be held tomorrow and the 20th. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna said that the conferences will be held at selected 32 seats while following health protective measures. Party founder Basil Rajapaksa decided not to hold the 4th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna on due date due to the pandemic. Accordingly, conferences of affiliated organizations and electoral seat conferences were postponed. It was decided to move forward with party organization activities since the country is returning to normalcy. Sri Lanka Podujana women's conferences were held successfully at 61 seats last weekend. Plans have been made to conduct the series of conferences while maintaining social distance and following health protective measures. And a project to minimize risk by stabilizing the land where there is landslide dangers at Ayagama area in Ratnapura commenced yesterday under the patronage of Defence Secretary Kamal Gunaratna. Properties were damaged due to landslides in Ayagama area due to torrential rains and floods in 2017. The project is implemented according to a scientific method to prevent landslide again in that place. 418 million rupees will be spent on the project. Another project to minimize landslide risk is implemented at Ratnapura, Galabada, Durekanda, Pebatua areas and on a 12-kilometer stretch of Vevavata Road. The project is implemented under the direction of Building Research Organization. And in news from the sporting world, Sri Lanka team left the island today to South Africa to take part in 2 test matches. Captain Dimuth Karunaratne said that they are happy to get into international competitions after nearly an year due to the global pandemic. 21 players are included in the group that left the country today. The first test match will commence on the 26th at Centurion in South Africa.
I'm really happy the way our boys trained the last few months. I'm so glad that we can play again international cricket. I know it's really hard to play in South Africa, but we are really ready and be well focused on being the tour and try to win it and try to give our best. I always want to, there's a squad like senior players and young talents. So there's a good mix of bunch. There's 22 players in my squad. I will go there and see how the wickets behave, and then we'll decide what we can do. And hopefully I can give some chance to youngsters as well. Yeah, we know South African players each other really well. We just want to play our best and we are trying to give our best, and hopefully we can win as last series in South Africa.
And that's it for tonight's news. Do watch us tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.